so I didn't watch the Liverpool Man U game, but I had never seen such jerseys before in my life on Liverpool as when I saw the highlights.
Oh, the blue ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been their away jersey all season.
Huh.
You've seen the Man U, like, zigzag ones this year, right?
Maybe.
Oh, they're horrible.
Let me look at this picture. Oh, that's terrible. They're like zebras.
Yeah. But like a zebra on a Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64! Howdy, it's Monday, May 17th, 2021, and this is episode 149 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City and Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Eskin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. That's good, Craig.
How many hours are we from Atlantic City? I mean, you are 5 less than I am, but...
Ooh, let me think here. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and a half. Yeah, 2.5 days. It's like 60 hours.
Glad we did that math in our heads to start the show.
Boy. All right, so 1949, Atlantic City hosted the 46th Annual United States Bowling Congress Open Championships. 46 lanes were set up in Boardwalk Hall to make it the largest bowling alley in the world. And you have a great picture linked from historicimages.com. The Congress Open Championships were 57 days long. 30,000 bowlers were expected to attend, and the only time since it started in 1901 that it was in AC. And you say it's going on right now in Las Vegas.
That's what it says. 57 days, that's like, does it ever end?
It seems
it's like a
long.
Fifth of the year, you know, it ends, and then they're already like getting ready for the next one.
Do you know like the logistics of how this works? Because it just seems preposterous. Is it just like you show up anytime and just like bowl some and then leave?
So it does seem sort of like that. Like it talks about how the first bowlers were from Syracuse, and it was just like some teams came to be the first bowlers. It's like there's probably a bunch of events, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like the World Series of Poker where there's like a billion events and you can be there for as long or as short as you want.
Just like roll up and, well, literally roll up and, you know, do your series or whatever and just get out of here. And then it's like no one can take 2 months off of work or whatever. So
to bowl, maybe bowlers can. Maybe bowlers don't have jobs. I don't know. That's how you get really good at bowling, is you just don't work.
Did you know, Craig, I was in a bowling league for a long time?
I did know that. So are you so sad that there's no bowling alley like at the Showboat anymore?
At the Showboat.
That's what part should reopen.
Showboat Casino and Bowling Center, or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Yeah, they should. So we mentioned Vegas. Should we talk about the big change that's happened in Vegas this past week?
Put it on me, Craig. I want to hear your takes.
Basically, Vegas is mask optional now, following the update from the CDC. And if you have been living under a rock, the CDC guidance is that if you've been vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask basically anywhere. Nevada quickly followed up with saying, we'll observe that. And the casinos quickly followed up saying, okay, here's the deal. We're not going to require masks for our staff or patrons anymore who are vaccinated. And we're not going to be asking anybody their vaccination status. So basically, masks are optional. I'll link to an article that has a win statement that says, the resort trusts guests to take the appropriate precautions based on their personal vaccination status. So basically, yeah, it's optional. So they're not going to be like, you know, asking you to show your vaccine card or anything like that, which I know there was some concern about way back in the day when people were first getting vaccinated. So, do we have hot takes? Is this fine, good, terrible, killing everyone's grandparents? What's the deal?
I don't know. I'm kind of curious to hear your take before mine, because as always, I think mine's going to be pretty moderate. So I want to hear your fire.
I think it's fine. It's not February anymore when the numbers are crazy high and it's really hard to get a vaccine. Like at this point, if you can make it to a casino, you can probably make it to some vaccine walk-in center, which are available in many places in the state of New Jersey. I'm assuming all over the country. There's one in Atlantic City. So, you know, if you're vaccinated and protected, seems like you should be fine with this.
That's a very mild take. I'm quite surprised.
So lukewarm.
I know. Let's just tease this out a little bit more, just because I'm curious. So you say that more or less this is okay with you simply because this is like a leisure activity. No one's being forced to do this, so you basically know what you're getting into when you go?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, okay. I guess, like, the one argument that I would hear is, like, you know, are there workers who can't get vaccinated for whatever reason? Like, that is the only thing I can think of. Or, you know, all the kids in the casino, because if you're under 12, you can't get vaccinated. So if you're going to be at the casino around a bunch of 10-year-olds, So if you're going to Harrah's in Atlantic City, then you should have to wear a mask.
Is it different for you than in, say, a supermarket or something that it may not be as optional to go to?
Yeah, I think so. The New Jersey governor today said the mask mandate's staying in New Jersey, so there will not be mask-free Atlantic City for us this weekend. The travel advisory is lifted, so if you're coming from out of state, you no longer have to quarantine. I know everybody who's coming to Atlantic City from out of state was actually just quarantining in their room for the first 10 days while they came. Yeah, and then starting day 11, they could go play the slots. Unless they got tested, in which case day 8. So you don't have to do that anymore, thankfully. You can just first day you get there, you can go to the slots. So that's good. But yeah, his argument was, people are going to the supermarket. It's not fair to the workers to have to be figuring out who's vaccinated or not. Like, that's impossible. But for something like a casino or I don't know, a bar, this seems like things that are more optional.
I mean, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate, because that's what I do, and that's what I like.
Because I know you agree with me 100%.
I agree with you, not quite 100%, but pretty thoroughly. But casino employees especially, they have the kind of schedules, it would be tough. And from the time it well and truly became, available to get a vaccine to now, people probably aren't, quote-unquote, fully vaccinated per the CDC.
True. That's a good point. I'm not fully vaccinated for another, 13 hours.
Right. That would be my one just bit of pushback, just playing devil's advocate against what you're saying. But I think just from a policy perspective, it may have been better to do what some states were doing, and most of them, I think, have dropped this and pretty much let it be a free-for-all, but saying, once we get to X% of eligible people vaccinated, we're going to drop the guidance and say masks are now totally optional or whatever, instead of just doing it, really all of a sudden, where, I don't know if you saw, but the day before this, basically the CDC director went out and was, very combative about the mask guidance or whatever, and then the very next day they said it was mask optional basically for vaccinated people.
I agree with that. If there's one big complaint, it's that the suddenness of it. There was confusion even in New Jersey until the governor made a statement of, does this apply? Are we allowed to now go to the supermarket without a mask on if we're vaccinated? And there wasn't any clarification until today. So I agree, the suddenness of it is very odd. I could see something like that where you say, once you get to whatever it is, 50% or 60%, then it's okay.
Yeah, 60 or 70 were the usual ones that states were trying to do, I think. But...
Yeah, or even to say, once appointments have been so readily available for 2 weeks or something, or a month or something like that. But
or I think DC was doing once community spread dropped below a certain point or whatever. But I actually basically think this is probably okay. I don't think I'm terribly risk averse, obviously. I'm on a gambling podcast, and
I mean, I'm on a gambling podcast.
Yeah, and you are pretty risk averse. But I've been going to work for a long time. I went to work last summer, more or less as well. And it was optional for me. I just like to do it, like to get out of the house. But it seems strange to just go from 100 back to, or 0 to 100 immediately, all at once. And I would go to Vegas now, but how comfortable would I really be? I don't know, not 100% comfortable, but I think the science basically says that the US is doing mostly fine in terms of coronavirus. So it's probably okay, but it seems sudden. That's my one complaint.
Yeah, I think the suddenness makes it sort of feel wrong, and especially because I don't know what it's like around you, but around here, everybody wears masks everywhere. It's weird to see someone even outside without a mask on. It's pretty weird.
Here, pretty much no one wears masks outside, which I think is correct. If I were in New York City, I don't think I'd wear a mask outside. I think there's no scientific reason to do that.
Right, and so I feel that way. There is no scientific reason to do it, and still, it feels very weird not to because everyone else is. And so, that's part of this also is, going from that, which seems it's such a part of your life, to, I don't need to wear this at the casino or at the supermarket. That's such a big change. And so it does feel weird. And so it's it feels weird and it feels wrong, but I can't explain why it's wrong. Certainly it seems like it should be fine because, you know, if you're fully vaccinated. So I don't know. I mean, we've gone more into this than probably we need to, but.
No, I would have liked to see maybe, we're going to wait for, let's say, a month, but this is going to happen soon. I think that would have been maybe a better statement. But I think scientifically speaking, this is totally defensible and it's probably really okay.
I mean, I'm sure someone's going to email us or, post in the comments on the blog saying, shove your whatever is up your ass, I'm going to Turning Stone. Or
Indeed.
But no, something about here's the reason why this is terrible and everybody should still be wearing masks or whatever. And it's something I'm overlooking and also, but I just can't think of anything.
I'm quite positive that, as with most of my political opinions, I've completely alienated people on both sides, which is what I always aim to do.
It's a good strategy.
Because I'm sure that the mask lovers hate me and the mask haters also hate me, which is good. That's exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, I have to say that when the CDC stuff first came out, the idea of being mask free in the casinos, I was super excited about it. It's going to be just like old times. But I mean, it didn't really bother me when I was there in April to have to wear the mask. It wasn't horrible or anything.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like probably like a bit of Stockholm syndrome or whatever, but like it just doesn't bother me at all to wear a mask. So
right. I mean, but the other thing is like we were wearing masks on the boardwalk, and it's like, why? Like that's dumb.
What I do have to say, and speaking of the science, I hope to get rid of all of the, like, you can still keep the tables if you want, and like whatever. This is something I'm ambivalent on, but keep them 4 tops for now for another couple months if you want to. But like, get rid of all the plexiglass. I think the science actually says that is actively bad for,
really?
It increases spread. So.
Yeah, let's get rid of that then. Let's do it.
Because you need ventilation is the best thing against that. And you hard to have ventilation when there's like barriers up everywhere that does not let air move.
Breathing in a little box. This is not good.
Yeah, it's not good. So,
all right.
Get rid of the plexiglass, please.
That's the mask talk. Plexiglass free Atlantic City, please.
I'm sure there will still be plenty of plexiglass, unfortunately. I don't know. Was there a lot there when you went?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a ton. I mean, it wasn't that intrusive. Well, at the slots. At the tables, it was pretty weird.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do any tables, right? So
no, they were all really expensive and crowded, so I just didn't even bother. So speaking of things moving slowly, bars and buffets haven't really been opening that much. Video poker bars, it seems, are mostly open. I did tweet at Hard Rock and say, hey, are the bar tops at the center bar and the lobby bar open?
And they ignored you, but Jim from New York, or Chauncey from New York, or whatever we want to call him.
Yeah, he responded saying, yes, they are, which is great. So thank you, Jim, for being better than Hard Rock's social media. But buffets are eligible to open. None of the buffets that were closed before are open now. So like Borgata, Tropicana, Golden Nugget, and Harrah's, all not reopened yet. And then some of the bars we talked about last episode, or restaurants that are really bar focused, are not open. So some of those, not exhaustive list, are Sunroom at Borgata, Gypsy Bar at Borgata, Olan, Okache, Rira. Rira seems kind of weird. I guess it's bar focused, but that's been closed.
That is weird.
There are a couple other random things, like there's an Asian restaurant at Tropicana that's still closed, and I think the noodle bar is takeout only at Tropicana. So it's kind of strange how much stuff is closed there, but they also do have probably more dining options than anywhere else. I don't know. I mean, do you think it's just staffing that like this stuff can't open that fast because they don't have anyone on hand to do it?
I mean, I think that speaking of politics, there's been a lot of politicization of how hard it is for some restaurants to find employees that are ready and willing to work for like what the restaurant owners feel are normal restaurant wages. And
yeah, that's true.
There's a variety of reasons that people are speculating that could be, but it's possible that difficulty finding people that want to do it could be part of it. But I think it's probably a bit more that just they don't think it's going to be super profitable to have these open yet. So
yeah, I mean, the other thing is, so the 100% capacity or whatever, it's not really 100% because social distancing still has to be in place, but that actually does not change until Thursday. So it's possible that some of this stuff just feels it's not even worth opening.
And you think that that's basically going to mean like probably like 75% capacity or something in real life or something like that?
And it's just, I mean, the 6-foot thing is just much harder to enforce. And
yeah, I
mean, I've actually eaten inside at a restaurant that the 6-foot is just like, this is so clearly not 6 feet between tables. So
what a rebel.
It's, that was before I was vaccinated.
Oh my goodness.
Now all of my mask takes make sense.
I know. You're actually just an anti-masker. Anti-vax.
It's true. I'm not anti-vax. I am vaccinated.
According to the CDC, you are not vaccinated for another 13 hours or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Until whatever, 11:45 tomorrow, I think.
You, sir, have to wear a mask for 13 more hours.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Andrew was like, oh, you don't need to wear a mask now. I was like, technically, I still do. And she's like, oh my goodness. Anyways. Should we talk about our trip that's coming up in some number of hours? An indeterminate 60? Number of hours? Yeah, 60-ish hours.
Not for you. It's more like...
Yeah, I think it's probably like 62 hours for you and like 67 hours for me. Let's go with that. That's what the people need to hear. How many hours we'll be there
until we arrive. Yeah, it'll be like 62 for me. Yeah, I'll arrive right around lunchtime.
Granted, when this episode posts, we'll have already been back for like 12 hours. So.
Probably.
Given the rate of turnaround that we've had recently.
It's not my fault that you've been doing work.
Yeah, it sucks.
Anyway, what do you want to get out of this trip?
I mean, I'm mostly just excited to go and hang out with people that are not my direct relatives.
Your kids?
Yeah, my kids. Is that wrong?
I think that's fine.
Yeah, it really does feel like I haven't really seen friends in 15 months. I mean, that it's crazy. And I feel like that can't be true, but it does seem like anything that I've done has been family related. Like, even if I've seen people, it's been like our kids meeting other kids and stuff like that. So,
I mean, you can only blame yourself. Surely you have friends in Hoboken you can meet for lunch or something, right?
Surely I have friends in Hoboken.
Go into the city, meet some people. I think it's fine.
I don't know. I never met anybody up here. I've lived here for 10 years and it just, no socializing for me. So
sounds like a personal problem.
Hasn't happened.
Move back to Maryland.
It's true. I mean, yeah, a big part of it. It does feel weirdly like it's, in my mind, I've like built it up like almost a Vegas trip of like, this is some long overdue thing, which it is overdue.
And you're going to be meeting me and Paul, to be clear.
Andy, who knows? I don't know. What the latest on him is. I mean, if he hasn't responded by now, I can't imagine he's going to go.
Last I heard, like 2 weeks ago, is like Dave and Andy are like, yeah, we're both really serious about this or whatever. But as you say, if they haven't responded, they're not going.
I don't know what the deal is with that. So one of my goals, since I am spending way too much time thinking about like what the best possible option is for every second that we're in Atlantic City. So one of my goals is not to overthink everything, which is funny because now we're going to talk about all these possible things and I'll overthink everything. So I'm trying to just take it more in stride and think like, what would be fun to do right now while we're in Atlantic City?
That's not a Craig thing.
No, it's really not. I mean, I do have some lists, some stuff that like I definitely want to do. We talked about the seed. That's like on the list.
That's right. I'm happy to go as soon as Paul gets in. We'll get there right when it opens on Friday. When is Paul getting in on Friday?
Probably midday, I would think.
Okay.
Noonish.
Oh, that early?
Yeah, I would have thought.
He's taking off Friday, or?
Yeah.
Oh, he should come up Thursday night then.
He should hear this podcast and then totally change his whole plans and come up Thursday night.
Hear this podcast after he gets back, because it won't be posted till then.
It's funny, before the pandemic, I had talked about, or I don't know if I'd ever said it on the podcast, but I had kicked around the idea of really limiting my gambling budget to like something like $100 a night or something, or $150 a night. And then that would really force me to not get in this mode of just hopping from machine to machine or table to table and then going to another casino and gambling, which is what we tend to do when it's just you and I on a trip. Mm-hmm. And the idea is like that would hopefully force me to experience some of the other stuff in Atlantic City. But since it's been so long, I want to go do some of the stuff that we used to do, like casino hop and that kind of stuff. So it's sort of a weird, in my mind, tug of war about what I actually want out of this trip. And I don't really know, but I think just the fact that it's happening is so nice that maybe there's no wrong answer, except just indecisiveness, which will ruin everything. The only wrong answer is not having an answer.
I think that's the perfect answer, not having an answer. Just on the fly.
It's land shark, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And drinks.
That's the only wrong answer. I don't know. Yeah, I'd give it another try, maybe one day.
We are staying at resorts.
You talked it up. It's true. So are you staying at resorts?
Yeah, so we talked about that off the show, between the shows. So I'm booked at resorts for Thursday. You're booked at resorts Thursday and Friday. I have the option to switch to Hard Rock. I actually don't know if I have the option at this point anymore. Or I actually snagged a My Vegas Monday through Thursday comp night for whatever loyalty points. I have infinite loyalty points, so it's basically free. And if I don't use it, it doesn't matter. So I was trying to think like, I rarely get a chance to stay for free at Borgata. Do I want to make the switch from resorts to Borgata? But I don't know, like if you're staying at resorts, even if we're going to spend a decent amount of time gambling at Borgata, it's just hard to see the value in staying there beyond like to be able to say I'm staying at Borgata.
I don't necessarily disagree. I just wanted to make it clear to you when we were talking that if you did want to stay in Borgata, because it is certainly a nicer room, like I'm planning on going out there maybe Friday anyway, because I have a lot of free play, and that seems like Friday morning, because I doubt Paul really wants to go to Borgata.
He does want to go to Borgata, he said.
Oh, he does?
He would like to go to Borgata Friday. So, like, he could meet us there or whatever.
Sure, that's fine.
So, yeah, we can sort of plan on that. But even then, like, even if we were, like, waking up and going to Borgata first thing Friday, I'm then switching to Ocean. So it would just be so much easier to wake up, check out of resorts, throw my crap in your room until I'm ready to check in at Ocean.
Yep.
Meaning until Paul checks in at Ocean and I can put my stuff in the room that we're sharing.
Because you're not actually checking in at Ocean.
Right. And so it sort of saves me any sort of like weird transition. Whereas otherwise the plan would be to like get in Thursday, put my stuff in your room, hang out on the boardwalk for a bit, and then I would head over to Borgata later and check in later. And I just know myself, and that would like stress me out until I'm checked in and whatever at Borgata. So I just don't think that's worth it. So I'm not going to do that.
Staying at resorts.
But, we do have a bunch of free play and stuff at Borgata, so we are planning to head there.
I have literally up to $1,000 in free play, which really
so do I,
means
Kyle.
$40 because
Right.
that's my minimum. And no one in the history of the world has ever gotten more than the minimum
Right.
in these deals.
Yeah, mine's 20 to 1,000. It's like, okay, so I'm just marking that down as the minimum. But they're also giving me like another 20, I think another 25 for the M Life transition. They just sent everybody some free play, so I have 25 for that and 20 for my normal offers, 20 to 1,000, and then we both have 25 comp dollars, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a decent amount of
I have
free money.
40 to 1,000 plus another 40. And actually, at Hard Rock, I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to go. Maybe we'll go Thursday night and see. But I either have, I think it's like 20 plus another 20 to 1,000, but it's very unclear because it just looks like a lot of my rewards are duplicated on the website. So it's hard to know.
Yeah, at Hard Rock, I have 10 slot dollars every night. Then Thursday, I can get either a Hard Rock grilling apron and digital thermometer, or $10 in free play.
I mean, anytime you have a chance to get a grilling apron and a digital thermometer, you've got to take it.
Yeah, I mean, they're really giving away how much they value that apron and digital thermometer when the alternative is $10 in free play.
I have to say, I got like a grill set from, I'm pretty sure it was Hard Rock, and it is literally the lowest quality thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, the apron, like, I would probably use it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. I can't imagine
And
that
it's
that's
a digital
worth
thermometer. It seems difficult to mess up, frankly.
I already have two, and that's one more than I need. So, oh no, actually we gave one to Andrew's parents because they didn't have one or something. I don't know. So now I only have one. I need a backup.
I have one.
Can't believe I'm surviving here with one digital thermometer.
When I'm cooking meat and stuff, I use the old-fashioned non-digital one. Just stick it in there and let it cook with the meat.
Then you really need a digital thermometer.
When I had a very brief foray into bread baking, I had to use my digital thermometer to make sure, my mix was the right temperature at all times.
I see. So you know all about the value of a good Hard Rock digital thermometer.
Extremely brief foray into bread baking.
So is there any other free play that we're being offered that's worth seeking out or no?
I've got a lot from Caesars, I think.
I have nothing from any Caesars casino. $0 and 00 cents.
I've got that Wolfgang Puck grill that you're so covetous of at Ocean on Friday.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful Wolfgang Puck grill.
Looks nice.
He's closed his Borgata restaurant, and now all of a sudden you get his grill at Ocean. What are they trying to tell us?
I'll tell you. I'm sure we'll be there on Friday, and I will be in line to pick that up. I don't know if you remember, the very last thing I've done in Atlantic City is get a shop vac at Ocean, and then I left. So,
did you really get a shop vac?
Yeah, man.
That's hilarious. I thought that you were very averse, Steve, in getting the shitty gifts, but now here we.
Well, I don't have a shop vac, so they're great. Luckily, my basement hasn't flooded yet, but shop vacs are great for when things flood. So,
awesome. My favorite is that. So we're staying at resorts. I have a $10 offer, slot dollars. Not every day, once, any day. So over a span of 3 days, I will one time have 10 slot dollars at resorts, which makes me very happy that they're like, you can have 10 slot dollars, but don't be trying to double up on us. You're staying here Thursday. I don't think you're going to get here early Thursday and get another $10 after you check out Friday. That's not going to happen. One time.
Yeah, I have $25 every day at resorts. $25 more or less every day at Ocean. I have, who knows, at Hard Rock. I think it's probably $40, but it's hard to know because their website is confusing. $40 every day at Caesars, pretty much, with some 40 to 1,000s mixed in. Although I think I might have another 40 on top of that at Caesars too. It's hard to know. Nothing's ever put in one place that's easy to read. So
yeah, so you probably have dining at Hard Rock too, right?
It doesn't say online, but when I got my June mailer, it said I had $50 in dining at Hard Rock.
I'm assuming I get 25 every single month, so I'm assuming you have the same for May when you swipe at a kiosk.
So we can probably, snag some food at the Hard Rock at some point.
$75 worth of
White House.
Sugar Factory red, white, and blue pancakes or whatever the heck they have. Giant fish bowl
Are we going to
drinks.
go to Gilchrist's?
Oh, you can't use the dining credits at Sugar Factory. Are we going to go to Gilchrist? That's a good question. I mean, one option is certainly to, stroll down the boardwalk, booze in hand, because there's drinking on the boardwalk allowed. Not like before you could not drink on the boardwalk. They would send
Absolutely
you straight
not.
to jail, Atlantic City style. Do not pass go.
That's right.
Do not collect $200.
Literally, that is what that square is named after. People drinking on the boardwalk
Yes.
in the Atlantic City game.
It's like, are you drinking at Park Place and the boardwalk? Not inside the Bally's? I mean, I do like the novelty of walking down the boardwalk with a drink sounds great, except that when I was there last time, it's not like there were just a bunch of places set up where you could just wander over and be like, yeah, I'll take a beer to go. The only place I saw that was the Steel Pier. So good job, Steel Pier.
So what happened to that one restaurant that had the really funny name that was like 3 restaurants in the last 2 years?
The Sandy's Shoes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I think that's done.
Sandy's Hose.
Yeah, and then there was like the American Craft Beer Joint and
Yeah.
Eatery. That's gone.
You know what
I
I'd
don't know if we'll make it to Gilchrist. That's a good question.
You know what I'd actually really like, and this is, obviously striking against Gilchrist, is to not step foot in Tropicana this trip. That would really make me happy.
So Paul had suggested that we could, you and I, since we're staying 2 nights, try to hit every casino in Atlantic City and in the...
Absolutely not. I will not be stepping foot in Tropicana or Golden Nugget.
No Golden Nugget. When was the last time you were in Golden Nugget? It's probably been years.
I'm saving myself for Harrah's for when I can actually stay there.
That's a good point.
I feel like I need to just build it up a little more before I go to Harrah's.
So basically you're only setting foot in Borgata.
Borgata and the other boardwalk casinos. Yeah.
I'm going to need some convincing to go to Bally's.
I will go before you get there. That's fine. I'll probably go to Caesars before you get there too. Oh, I'll hit those too while you're en route.
Yeah, I guess like I don't have anything against Caesars, but I just don't really feel any need to go there.
I mean, it's a good place to play, video poker. It really is.
That is true. Yeah, that's true. The only reason I would step foot, I mean, I actually like Tropicana. I know that you're a hater.
The Asia room's nice at Caesars too, frankly.
The thing that I would go to Tropicana for is just because I want to walk down the boardwalk, but I guess I could just walk down the boardwalk and then walk straight back. It's supposed to be nice.
We
man.
can
Nice
walk to
the Atlantic Club.
Lucy's Elephant. Yeah.
Lucy the Elephant.
Down to Margate.
That's true. So we mentioned Gilchrist. Is there anything else that you want to eat at?
You're picking dinner on Thursday. Where are we going?
So I feel like there's some obvious options.
Uh-huh.
Podcast sponsor Chickies and Pete's.
If that's unfortunately, I can't go.
I know you're like there's like a force field around Tropicana. You won't.
I
be able
do.
to get in.
Yeah.
Either of the cafes, Rainforest or Hard Rock.
I don't feel very good about either of those either, frankly.
I actually like Hard Rock Cafe, as I mentioned, but I wouldn't go to Rainforest. One option is like a total dive, right? I mean, we've done Tony's Baltimore Grill, but like Ducktown Tavern, Atlantic City Bar and Grill.
All right. How about this? After dinner on Thursday, we will go to Ducktown Tavern and get a beer.
I think that's a good idea.
I feel like it's ridiculous that it hasn't happened yet.
But Ducktown Tavern, though, is like over by Caesars, right?
Yeah, it's near Caesars. I think maybe even a little bit south of Caesars or whatever on the boardwalk. Or it's not on the boardwalk, but, it's a couple blocks. It's near, like, Boardwalk Hall.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, other options would be, like, just somewhere we've never gone that's not in a casino, like Angelo's Fairmont Tavern. We've mentioned many times. There's some place on Yelp highly rated, Los Amigos Mexican restaurant, which I've seen all the time, and I just assume is a complete dump, because it's like a bright yellow, very narrow building right over by the outlets. And like, there's no way that's any good, and people will love it. But I don't know, like Mexican, I mean, is that really what I'm going to be in the mood for? I don't know.
I love Mexican, so I'm always down. I mean, I feel like if we want to lock in, you just spending all day in the Rendezvous Tower bathroom again.
Yeah, good point. We're just going to go to Dunkin'. We're going to get some egg and cheese croissants and call it a day.
I mean, I will at some point get a croissant, absolutely not everything bagel with some sausage, egg, and cheese on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're asking a very indecisive person to make a decision about dinner, so that's tough.
I just said that you were choosing. I'd be down for like Angelo's. That sounds fine. Yeah, somewhere kind of in that realm. Los Amigos sounds fine.
I feel like we have a decent list and we can sort of just see what we're in the mood for at the time.
We could always ask friends of the pod, Bill and Eleanor, if they have any suggestions. I bet they have some good ideas.
Yeah, like places we've never even heard of.
Yeah. We should ask them if we're going to the whatever on Friday. The Seed?
The Seed, yes. A living beer project. You have to say the whole name.
Yes.
Do you think that's like innuendo?
I didn't feel good saying the seed, so
Yeah.
probably.
No, I never feel good saying it. If they had called it, like something about creation of beer or insemination of beer.
It's
Anyways, that's enough of that. We're planning to do that Friday. Couple options for dinner. Obviously we could go anywhere from the seed, but I mean, we could sort of do a chuck buffet.
not eat, real dinner.
Yeah, and grab something somewhere in the afternoon before we go to the seed so that we're not, all drunk face
Smart.
after the seed and possibly a little water, and then go grab something at Bore on the way back to the boardwalk. The problem is, again, with the Chuck Buffet in Atlantic City. The Chuck Buffet, for those of you who don't know, is basically just in Vegas, walking down the strip and popping in anywhere that looks good and sitting at the bar and getting some food and then moving on to the next, named after famous podcaster Chuck Monster, no longer podcaster. The problem with that in Atlantic City is so many places close at 10 in the casinos. So there's not a whole lot of options if you're still hungry because you've just been eating nothing but appetizers at 11 o'clock. So it seems like you're taking a risk of not getting real food. But I guess that's why Dunkin' Donuts exists.
That's right. Rudy's Dinette.
Toasted coconuts ready for you.
So am I going to buy just a dozen toasted coconut donuts right as soon as we get there?
I should call up resorts and be like, can you just have a dozen toasted coconut donuts on my bed?
Call your host. Yeah.
On a bed on a layer of rose petals. And just gently place the donuts on the bed before I get there.
Gently, just crush them and smear them everywhere. So it's just the full effect of.
I'll be doing the crushing and smearing. Thank you very much.
It's not the same if someone else does it.
It's I need champagne and 13 glasses, one for me and one for each donut. This is taking a weird turn.
I know.
I blame the seed.
Makes me perhaps even more comfortable than the seed.
Boy. So what about you? I mean, are there any places you're eager to go, places that you want to revisit that you haven't been to in 15 months or longer?
You know me, I just always want to go to Piccolo Wings, but...
That's on the Chuck Buffet, man. That seems like it should be the first stop before we even go to the seed.
Oh, their wings are good, and their beer is cold.
I wonder what their other food is like. I bet they have a $3 cheeseburger that's an amazing bare bones. Exactly the kind of cheeseburger you need with some Coors Light.
Do you know what does not have good food at all?
Don't
The
say
Irish
it.
pub.
I hate you. Why would you sully the
it's
good
true.
name of the Irish pub?
You can like it, but the food is bad.
I love the Irish pub. That's a place that the ventilation, I don't think.
Oh, no, you would... Yeah, no, you're getting something. Coronavirus is if you're lucky, frankly.
The ceilings are 6.5 feet tall.
Piccolo's perfect. It's the doors are open all the time anyway, and it's just this huge cube, concrete cube. I mean, that cinder block isn't keeping any air out anyway, so...
That's true. We have planned absolutely nothing. We've just talked completely, out of our asses for 20 minutes.
You've made me excited to start planning a bit more, though.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out dinner Thursday, figure out dinner Friday. That's really what needs to be done.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go to the Lucky Snake?
Remind me of what that is.
It's the arcade at the Showboat.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Oh, come on.
I will not. That's also in the list of things I will not step foot in. I want to have a fun time. I don't want to be depressed.
You don't even want to just go in and look at it?
No. You do it and just relay back to me how depressing it is.
I'll probably just forget that it even exists.
Last time I went in the Showboat, I'm just it made me sad, and it just made me not want to go to Atlantic City anymore. Because something so beautiful could become something so terrible.
I mean, I love arcades, but the problem is it's totally just going to look exactly like the old Showboat casino floor. And no amount of good arcade games can make up for the fact that it's not a casino anymore.
I mean, if it has 25-cent Simpsons, it's a pretty good way to spend your time.
That's true.
Is that the most classic arcade game? Maybe yes?
Surely not.
Oh, it's pretty good.
There's the old stuff like Frogger and Space Invaders and stuff.
There's a place in Glen Burnie that has an arcade and very cheap beer, especially Rolling Rock, as one does in, the general Maryland, Pennsylvania area. Yeah, I played some Tapper there for quite a while.
Tapper is excellent. Tapper's a very fun game to play at a bar. Also, Miss Pac-Man, possibly not just the best arcade game of all time, maybe the best video game of all time.
It's
only if it has the speed up chip, though. If you're playing regular slow speed, it sucks. But most arcades, they've got it sped up. This is now the Miss Pac-Man podcast. Let's talk about how hot Miss Pac-Man is.
What a honey.
She's got that bow in her hair.
I know what you like.
They have the giant Pac-Man at the Lucky Snake, the world's largest Pac-Man, which apparently like every arcade and casino has the world's largest Pac-Man in quotes.
Yeah.
Because they're all the same size.
Is there still one at Wild Wild West?
I don't know.
Because it used to be there, right?
Yeah, I'd be sort of interested to walk through Wild Wild West now that it's Caesars.
Oh, I will be there.
Yeah.
I can relay back to you.
Anything else for this trip? We should probably wrap up the discussion before we actually go on the trip, while we still have time to make it.
You would have to agree it'd be more fun just to talk about our trip for the next 60 hours instead of going to work and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like, dealing with kids and stuff, that would be great.
I don't know if it's the best content, but it'd make us happy. And isn't that what this podcast is about?
Yeah, just making up stuff as we go. Sounds great. Should we talk April data now that we're going to go provide some May data to the casinos? Hopefully some negative May data.
Hopefully Resorts has a very bad month in May.
Just paying us millions, which they cannot afford, by the way.
So yeah, April data is out, as you point out. So hopefully in the notes, there is an infinite increase year over year since the casinos were closed in April. I also expect an infinite increase for Q2, which will be good.
It's going to be amazing.
I don't know. The big standouts, well, the big negative standout is there's only 2 casinos that lost money, and Tropicana basically was flat. It was down 0.18%, so we can call that essentially flat, but Borgata was down 17%.
From March.
Yes, from March, though they had what was supposed to be a short cutover where they were going to be switching from their Borgata cards to the real MGM cards, and it seemed like they had some problems during it, so I think that went on a bit longer than they expected, but they were down 17%, which is not very good. Every other casino was up.
The amazing thing was how close Hard Rock was to Borg, and then I realized that Borg did have those issues where you couldn't actually play at the casino for a couple nights, but still, 35.2 million for Hard Rock's a very, very good number. It's their best non-summer month by quite a bit. I did, for a split second, I went back to our Hard Rock could have a month better than Borgata after we saw it for one day when it opened. But, I'd be shocked if that actually happens, because I think that this is quite an anomaly for Borgata. But still, I think good sign for Hard Rock. Ocean, I think, was sort of in line with their last month, which we didn't think was all that great for them. It was just 22.1 million, so they're 13 million behind Hard Rock. Harrah's actually jumped over Tropicana for 4th, so Harrah's had 20.75. So Ocean it seems like they've sort of been cut away from the top, Borg and Hard Rock, and they're getting dragged back into the pack of Harrah's and Tropicana and Caesars and them. So kind of interesting from that perspective, just because Ocean had done so well, leading up into the pandemic and then coming out of the pandemic. But we'll see if that keeps up. Otherwise, I don't think there's really too much to talk about.
No, I think Harrah's is a big standout. Their month was very good. They've actually been so far this year, I think maybe other than Hard Rock, the biggest pleasant surprise. And, they're kind of on their way to maybe starting to get close to Ocean and maybe retake the 3rd place. Yeah, other than that, not too much to talk about.
So we can get back to talking about the trip.
Bally's $11 million month. So that's double digits. That's what you like to say.
Yeah, I mean, as not great as that sounds, given where Bally's was before they were sold off, that's looking up a little bit for them, I think. You're starting to see them regain a little bit of...
It's much better. Golden Nugget's still also an $11 million month. Not very good. Resorts 13.
I mean, those are all sort of to be expected, I think.
Yeah, I think you're still a bit disappointed, especially if you're Golden Nugget. You don't like being that far behind Resorts, but that's just how it's been. Resorts has had a pretty decent lead for the last year, basically, I think. So
I just don't think they care. I think it's all...
They just rake it in on online, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, they make so much in online, and that's their online arm is public now or whatever, so I think that's just where the money is, but who knows?
Who knows?
They have the Bill's Bar and Burger going for them, and I guess that's not drawing the people. Who would have thought?
Is it better than Harrah's Bar and Burger or whatever it's called now?
AC Burger Co. Get it right or pay the price. It's my Salute Your Shorts reference, Kyle.
Indeed.
In case you didn't get it.
Oh, I got it.
In case anyone under the age of 36 or over the age of 40 is listening to the show.
Let me tell you, that was a much better show than whatever Dude Ranch or whatever the other show was called.
Salute Your Shorts is amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
Budnick and Donkey Lips.
Mm-hmm. What was the show with the superhero kid, too?
Oh, Pete and Pete?
Pete and Pete, yeah, that was a very good show, too.
Artie, the strongest man in the world.
Indeed.
Yeah. Who wasn't actually a kid. He was an adult.
All right. Anyway, if you want to reach out to us or any of our listeners, you can do so at the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/doforwin. Find all of our great content and buy a shirt. Please buy a shirt at doforwin.com.
No mediums left, though.
I still haven't confirmed that, but I guess I should at some point. Reach out to Craig on Twitter at doforwin or me at Kyle Askin and send Craig some questions for us to read on air to doforwin@gmail.com. Any last words, Craig?
I have anticipation for where this next part is going.
I mean, I spoiled it for you before you watched it,
yeah.
So...
And I mean part in the most euphemistic way. You'll see where we're going.
I think the major part of the episode is Nucky was working with Rothstein to try to figure out what to do about Chip Rossetti, killing all of his henchmen, preventing Rothstein from getting his product that he paid for. So they had a very heated discussion in Rothstein's office, which was actually pretty amusing. It seemed like coming out of that they had basically agreed to disagree. Rothstein had some very funny quotes about how he feels about New Jersey and how he doesn't want to impact anything that actually matters dealing with it. So it seemed like they'd sort of disagreed on what to do, but at the end of the day, it seems like Rothstein actually ended up agreeing with Nucky because it seems like they tried to get Jip killed, but alas, he survived. Just everyone else in the house got killed. I don't think there's just too much else to talk about. Got to see Margaret catching Nucky in the lingerie shop with Billy. So
yeah, we got some stuff about Jimmy's mom's brothel losing money, and apparently the solution is to have Jimmy declared dead, and she doesn't seem to want to do that. We also got Van Alden, aka Mueller, killing a federal agent again.
I mean, his wife was mostly responsible for that.
That's true.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that was a whole weird scene. I mean, obviously the Jip Rossetti thing was the main part of the show, much to my dismay. And just like the very first scene was him in some sort of autoerotic asphyxiation. I say some sort of, it was just a full-on autoerotic asphyxiation, telling the prostitute, not to hold up on him at all.
She's a waitress or whatever.
Oh, that was the waitress? Man. Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Unbelievable.
She's a nice girl. Good to see him pass out.
Yeah, and he passes out. And just with that being the start of the show, I just rolled my eyes so hard because the depth of this character is like a bird bath. It's so bad. And just, there's no subtlety at all to anything about him. And then the first thing they show us is this guy's a loose cannon. How crazy can he possibly be? Let's hammer it over your head yet another way. And then, so then the end scene where they're trying to kill him and he's doing this again. And he's gotta try to get the waitress girl to untie him so that he doesn't get killed. She gets killed. I just had no time for any of that. And I'm ready for the Jip thing to be over.
I think soon enough.
I think he's going to kill a whole lot of people first.
He's not going to survive the season, certainly.
No. I mean, he's already racking up a pretty big body count. But yeah, I guess the whole point of this season is just he's sort of the big bad, and they've got to figure out a solution to it, and he'll be the boss at the end that they have to kill to get to the next level.
I don't know. I don't think there's too much to talk about, really.
Nope.
This episode.
It'll be interesting to see if Mueller is now part of the organized crime at the flower shop.
It seems like that's where this is going, which seemed like it's actually taken a bit longer to get there than I thought, because given that I think we talked about it in the first episode of the season or whatever, that this is what was going to happen. But
that's at least an interesting twist, and he'll probably come back around to somehow be dealing with Nucky in some way. So that'll be an interesting sort of curvy road to go down. But the Jip stuff just is not interesting to me. We didn't even mention the main thing in the episode, again, as euphemistically as possible, which is that just at the end of the episode, you just get a whole lot of full frontal of
Jip. It's more like full top down, but yeah. I promised you when I had seen the episode and you hadn't, that yes, you were going to be getting a lot of Jip stick in this episode, and I did not lie to you.
No, except the first scene, I was like, oh, here it comes. And then it didn't. And I was like,
it sort of did, but in some way. But
there wasn't really that much. So I was like, really? That was worth telling me about? And then at the end, I was like, oh, no. Kyle was not lying to me.
I don't know. I'm used to HBO. It's they'll show it for 2 seconds or whatever and then cut away. But it was 60 seconds.
It was a lot.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. We'll get to see some crazy stuff again next episode, Craig, your favorite.
I'm sure, yes.
Crazy Jip.
What crazy thing will happen next episode with Jip Rossetti? Go crazy, Jip Rossetti. I think that's enough of that. We are 14 minutes over on our over-under of 10 p.m.
Who won that bet anyway?
You did.
Anyway, I hope you guys stay safe, and I hope that we also stay safe in Atlantic City, and maybe we'll have an episode for you sometime soon with a trip recap.
Episode 150, a trip recap.
That's right. It'll be take us full circle from episode 1, and we'll be able to end the series on the way we started it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think, we'll never hear anything further than in Boardwalk Empire than an episode ending on Chip Rossetti's deck. So I think that's probably the best for everybody.
That's the way to end it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Let me think here. So it's 2.5 days? 3.5 days. Wait, what's today?
What a start to the episode.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and a half.
Yeah, it's 2.5
days. So it's like 60 hours. Yeah, perfect.
Glad we did that math in our heads to start the show.
Boy. It's going to be a good night. I can tell already. This one will be fire.
Let's take another sip of beer before.
That's right. It's good. All right. So 1949, Atlantic City hosted the 46th annual United States Bowling Congress Open 46th annual United States Bowling Congress Open Championships. No, I'm not starting over.